Well, now, we had a proposal from Councillor Reeve.
Yeah.
Was that seconded? No?
Sorry, Pete Reese put his hand
Oh,
up.
sorry, Pete, yes. So, proposed by Dick Reeve, seconded by Pete Reese. Then we had an amendment proposed by Ron Simpson.
Yes, Chair. Yes, there are implications, a number of implications for the neighbourhood plan. That's the reason I've suggested that.
Right.
What sort of implication?
Yes, well, for example, the smaller number of dwellings means it doesn't qualify for SIL, for example. So, in my opinion, at the moment, the application isn't compliant with the neighbourhood plan. However, I've heard the explanation as to why colleagues are doing what they're doing, and therefore the neighbourhood plan has the facility to have a dialogue to see if there's a positive way forward. But at the moment, I would be forced to vote against this simply because it's not compliant with the neighbourhood plan. The council will also put itself in a difficult position, bearing in mind we're in conflict on another matter with the neighbourhood plan. So to try and be positive, I saw that as the greater way forward to allow a dialogue with the applicants, which is possible.
It's not uncompliant with the neighbourhood plan because it does say the site will accommodate up to 14
It
points,
is,
not a minimum of.
Yes.
So I take your point about still entirely wrong, but it's what I'm saying. It is compliant with the plan. Because
Not in my opinion, but it's a matter for the neighbourhood plan committee. That's what I'm trying to not.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
the thing
There
is,
needs to be a discussion.
we haven't got it, but why they've got to respond to it as it stands, because we haven't got the time to get the neighbourhood plan committee meeting to respond to it.
When does that final date?
Well, it's
you're
21 days
15
from the
days in,
17th of May.
so you've got seven days to go, haven't you?
Yeah.
7 days to go, and you can't call a meeting within 7 days.
Can I change? I'll change my amendment and try and be helpful to the chair, if that's possible. The matter be supported, provided it's compliant with the neighbourhood plan.
Well,
Therefore, if there's a doubt, that allows discussion.
I don't think there is a doubt.
no, I can't see that apart from the Silbury, which is something that we really isn't sort of neighbourhood plan, it's not bounded within the neighbourhood plan, just but that site will attract Silbury. We can't do that. So I just think that it's an outline planning commission asking to build on a land that has already been allocated by the neighbourhood plan.
Because we can't take it to the neighbourhood plan committee
No.
because we haven't even formed it yet,
No.
have we? We haven't
No.
asked for.
But with respect to it,
But I don't think so.
We've got representatives from all the organisations to
Yeah.
gather, yeah, haven't we?
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing. So if we haven't got a neighbourhood plan as such, committee
well,
as such.
for that reason, I'm happy to amend, as I said, Chair. We'd be in a ridiculous position if it was judged to be not compliant. Bear in mind the battle we're about to have. So I'll support on the understanding it is compliant with the neighbourhood plan and the planners say so.
Well, it
Sure,
is.
it's for us to say so.
All we're trying to argue is to whether it attracts still or not, and I don't know that the neighbourhood plan can. Well, yes, that's what it is, Christine. That's the only reason that you could say that it doesn't comply with the neighbourhood plan is the fact that it's a bit fewer buildings that might not attract sill. But I don't know if that is anything that really is conformed within the neighbourhood plan. Phil?
I just, I think taking Sill aside, the idea that we can just say 6 houses without necessarily looking at the detailed design, outline, etc., etc.
They're all on
No, it's outlined, Phil.
It's out, well, in that case, if it's outlined then, and then we have an opportunity to revisit it,
Yes.
then I don't really see what the problem is about it.
No, that's what I'm trying to say. We're not saying this is the sort of houses, this is the building they're going to be. All we're saying is we would just confirm the neighbourhood plan that we've allocated this land for building.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
as I say, I've got
Well,
no problems in that case.
That's good. I've made the proposition, it's been seconded.
Yeah, it's been seconded. Councillor Simpson wants to move an amendment but hasn't got a seconder at this point. Oh, I missed that.
I didn't realise he was looking for a second, but I see you later.
So are you?
Well, I'll just say I can't support Councillor Simpson's amendment.
Well, the record shows that Chair of Planning isn't supporting
Well,
the design
yes,
to protect the neighbourhood plan, Chair, but it's a straight vote.
That's quite fine.
You know, it's
It's-
on the
I
record,
don't
that's what he did.
I don't consider that I am voting against the neighbourhood
So
plan.
we have to vote on the amendment
Yes.
first.
Can,
Yeah.
can we just say what the amendment is? Because I'm,
Yes, certainly.
Please.
Yeah, go for it.
That this council supports this outline planning application on the understanding it is compliant with the Uppingham neighbourhood plan.
and who would be the judge of that?
The planning department, that's who decides.
Well, no, well,
Surely, Ron, I mean, I know where you're going on this, but I would have thought that we must try and determine this ourselves
Yeah.
and not pass the judgment as to whether it's compliant with the plan to the county council, because the reason why we went for this plan was to try and maintain as much control as possible. But
Yes,
Pete Rees.
yes, Pete.
I personally cannot see a problem with passing this with the amendment, given that it is merely making sure that it complies with the neighbourhood plan. Now, that neighbourhood plan was made by ourselves through a committee, but ratified by ourselves and fought for in court. Now, for the sake of it, I don't see any problem with doing that. I can't see that there will be a problem, but purely and simply for openness, transparency, whatever you want to say, I believe that's probably the way that we should go.
well, having to listen to that, you can talk to that, but what I'm trying to say is the neighbourhood plan hasn't got anything to do with sill. It's not mentioned it, and as Ron has said, the only thing that he would say where it doesn't comply is that there aren't enough houses that, originally they had enough houses that might have applied for sill, now they don't. But again, but sill isn't mentioned in here as a qualification for any site.
No, can I speak again?
Yeah.
Just to say that I'm not necessarily talking about sill. I'm just referring to the fact that any planning permission that's given in the town, given that we worked so hard on that neighbourhood plan, it should be made sure that it does comply. Now, it may comply completely with it, and I believe that it will completely comply. I have no doubt that it will. But for the sake of it, and for the sake of the neighbourhood plan, which we fought so long and hard to maintain, I believe that we should just do that.
Well, the only thing I would say is that now, any decision of the neighbourhood plan has to be ratified by this council. So you are doing that now.
Chair, I thank Councillor Rees for that. Simply, we resolved at an earlier meeting, we may well go to court to fight a battle with the county council about an earlier application. The blow of it all goes sour on us. It's simply been ultra cautious for exactly the reasons Councillor Rees said. We would look absolute fools if the planners deemed something different. And the reason I say the planners is because at the end of the day, as we're learning with the blow, they do have the final say. They are the planning authority. And I'm being ultra cautious, and it would allow dialogue with the applicants.
Can we vote on the amendment?
so can I
Yeah.
just...
David?
I know exactly what you're saying, Pete, but I just think that we are handing over the decision about whether it is compliant with the plan or not to the county council.
Yeah.
Well, that's what we are effectively doing.
Yeah.
And we don't want to do that.
You are, Christine, I'm very sorry, but you are, because you are, Christine, because the neighbourhood plan committee cannot meet before the council makes its decision. That's RCC.
But it's just a few words as far as I see
Well,
it, that
Well, we're all
like
on the
Pete
field,
said, that absolutely covered us one way or another.
Has anyone who hasn't spoken yet wished to say anything? Right, so are we clear on what we're voting?
You're voting on the amendment,
On
yeah.
the amendment? Right,
All those in favour?
That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
those
Those
against?
against?
That's 1, 2, 3.
Those abstaining? Thank you. Item C, 0429 4-stroke LAB, proposed installation of a veranda to provide open-sided covering outdoor space to complement the new restaurant building and a small bandstand stroke gazebo, the Garden Falcon Hotel. Thank you.
Sorry, Chair, can I just realise, apologies, Chair. one of my companies has, this is the registered office, so I don't have a pecuniary interest, but I should declare the fact that the company's registered there.
Okay, I presume you've all seen the drawings on the board. How say you? Does anybody want to make a proposal?
Propose.
Find a seconder.
I'll take it.
Does anybody want to speak? All those in favour?
11.
Dick? Abstain.
Okay,
One abstention.
I'm done. Over to you, Alan.
Thank you. Thank you, Dick. Consider following planning, oh no, we've done that. Right, accounts for payments. These have been handed out tonight, have they?
Yes, I have emailed them out. I just want to explain briefly what you've got in front of you, because this will be the way going forward. For this new financial year, so what you've got attached are April's, which you've already approved, and May's summary of payments for the month. One of the things we're now being asked to do going forward is to actually demonstrate how quickly we pay our bills. Obviously with direct debits we don't have a problem, but any invoices that are paid by cheque, there's now a requirement going forward for us to disclose and be transparent about how quickly we pay our accounts. The government would like to see councils, local parishes not sitting on their hands when it comes to writing cheques, I fear. What you've actually got is, I might as well show you the information. I've started keeping the record for when we have to start posting this information and making it available publicly. What you'll see in the minutes is literally the first 5 columns ending in the pounds amount, as you've always normally seen in terms of payment schedule. The extra detail is the invoice date, the date at which I sent it off, because it sometimes differs to the date we write the cheque, and then there's a little column that works out what the number of days are that it took us to actually dispatch the cheque. I've added on a notes column because from time to time we do have a dispute about the odd invoice that leads us to take a little bit longer to pay. So there's always a note in there if there is something that looks a bit out of the ordinary, I need to draw your attention to it. So you will get these going forward. So you'll have all the direct debits, all the cheques that have been issued and written and signed off, and if there are any transactions on other bank accounts, because this is the I tend to use the main Lloyd's account to do all the transactions from. If there are any transactions from other bank accounts, they will be detailed underneath on a separate line. So it's just to give you a view of the new sort of format and the reason why we've moved to that. I hate to drop any sort of change on you.
Well, from a commercial point of view, then I'd say,
And
done them, are we paying to terms?
Well, this often revolves around me keeping on top of them on a weekly basis and actually not letting a pile of stuff sort of get on top of me. It also enables me to keep the accounts up to date. I understand that we could take longer to pay, but I'd rather keep on top of it.
I agree with you in normal circumstances, but it is worth bearing in mind, particularly if you're falling a bit short towards the end of the year or something, that you can play tunes on it a bit. You know, particularly about if someone's giving you 6 weeks, then take 6 weeks, for instance.
Okay, I'll take that on board.
Thank you.
I propose.
Christine proposes.
Those in favour?
That's all.
Thank you. Item 18, correspondence. We have a letter and a schedule from Councillor Ainsley. Events and expenses. From the chair, I would want to commend Councillor Ainsley for refunding public money. I would also want to point out that not everyone is as well off as everyone else, and it would be a crying shame if at any time in the future any individual was deterred from standing on account of not being able to what to do.
Can I agree with the Chair, would commend the fact that accounts have been submitted. I think that's a bit of best practice in local government.
Thank you. And then we have another item, do we?
Yeah, and it's just towards the back end of last week, literally as I was putting the packs together, I got quite a bit of correspondence from a number of directions, so I bundled it all together in relation to the statement made from in the Democrat 15 minutes, and a response from the chair of the Uppingham Neighbours Forum, Janet Thompson. So I put those together for you to read. I didn't intend to sort of go through them, but it was just to make sure you've got that. That's the latest information I've got from the different items of correspondence.
Thank you.
Where's the meeting?
Much better than Dave, I think. So we tend to-
Yeah, well done, Alex. Well done. We'll see this next.
Very warm, Christine, isn't it? Very warm in here, Christine. You've been on the controls again. Well done. I've got a report back from Susan that you're on.
Called earlier, actually, on the way in.
Anybody wants any training? The green tray over there is the place to live. I'll leave that as a look around.
Yeah. Right.
And then let the county council say.
Oh, I know.